We've now got Terence, who's going to give a presentation which will probably get quite a lot of you in jail.
So, yes, just while my technical guru is setting stuff up, the following presentation contains mild levels of satire and potentially libelous and or slanderous statements. By attending this talk, you do agree to be my co-defendants in the forthcoming trial. And I have, rather nicely, hopefully, a click-through license. By attending, you agree to, etc., etc. All those in favour say aye. For the aye, there we go. Okay, so we're hitting space to move down. There we go. So, does anyone know how to make a Mac stop? Oh, there we go. Right. First of all, a quiz. So this is the interactive portion of this. I'm just going to use the down key because I don't trust anything else. So does anyone recognise these two lovely chappies? Shout if you know, or stick your hands up. Yes, yes. So these are TV's Neil Hamilton and Mohammed Al-Fayed. Now, for those of you who are too young, weren't around in the 90s, one of these chaps paid the other, and a bunch of other people, £2,000 to ask questions in Parliament, and also gave all sorts of other treats like Harrods gift baskets and stays in French castles. Oh, lovely. Which was nice. So, if you want questions asked in Parliament, just find an MP, give him £2,000 in an envelope. Lovely. Quiz part 2. Does anyone know who this smiley happy fellow is? Yes, yes. This is, again, TV's Bernie Ecclestone. So he donated £1 million to the Labour Party. And the Labour Party said, we're going to ban tobacco advertising from all sports. And then Bernie Ecclestone maybe sort of went, and Labour said, you know what, apart from Formula One. And then there was a big hoo-ha, and I think did Labour give it back? Yeah, they gave it back. And remember, Tony Blair is a pretty straight sort of guy. So it was entirely coincidental that a man gave them £1 million and they changed their policy for him. This is slightly more obscure, perhaps. Anyone? This is, he's the king of Bahrain, and the Bahraini embassy sent a bunch of MPs some very expensive Fortnums and Masons gift baskets. That MP there gave hers back, which was, good for her. But they also paid for other MPs to go on very lavish and expensive trips. And then, despite their, quite frankly, appalling human rights records, the king was invited to have dinner with the Queen. That's nice. Entirely coincidental. Nothing to do with the gift baskets or the, taking people out on very expensive trips. Getting into the last street. Now, this is an obscure one. Anyone? No? This is, so the Guardian tells me, so, on good legal ground there. That's Philippa Stroud. She's Ian Duncan Smith's longest-serving advisor, and her salary is entirely paid for by a think tank. So she's not a civil servant, she's not paid for by the Conservative Party. Some company has paid for an entire person to whisper in Ian Duncan Smith's ear. And that's all perfectly legal, and I'm sure she only gives him top-quality advice. Last but not least, this is a good one, this is my favourite, this is why I'm here. Anyone... No. 5 points from Hufflepuff. Anyone else? Okay, so this is a lovely fella. This is John Nash. He's the chairman of KUK. He gave £21,000 to Andrew Lansley to fund his personal office. Now, Andrew Lansley was health secretary at the time and pushed through all the legislation to help privatise our NHS. Now, completely coincidentally, John Nash happens to be the chairman of KUK, who's going to make an absolute, I believe the correct term is metric fuck ton of money from the privatisation of the NHS. And again, completely coincidental. And added bonus, at the start of this year, he became the Baron Nash. So he now sits in the House of Lords making our laws for us. That's nice. That's not bad for 21k, is it? That's pretty good. So, this has been going on for a while. It's been going on for quite a long time. You go onto Wikipedia, you will find lots of examples. I've only chosen like half a dozen of the most recent ones, and it annoys me. So we have this great sort of tradition at OpenTech of launching new campaigning groups and new things, and that's what I want your help to do. You see, petitions don't work. So anyone here ever sort of clicked on something or liked something on Facebook? Yeah, we're going to stick it to the man and sign a 38 degrees petition or something. The politicians ignore those. I mean, if they get an email from 38 degrees, it goes straight in the spam bin. It's nothing. If they receive an automated tweet, it's nothing. Oh, 10,000 people liked Save Our NHS on Facebook. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. 38 degrees raised £50,000 from people like you and I, and what do? They ran some focus groups, they ran some surveys, they placed full-page adverts in national newspapers, spent 50 grand doing it. And what did it achieve?
Nothing.
You see, what I think they should have done is say, we've got 50 grand here. They should have gone to John Nash and say, I see your 21 grand, and I raise you. So this is what I want to do. This is KickbackStarter. I think there's lots of intelligent people. Anyone who was in Bill's talk earlier knows we're intelligent people. We can club together. It's not enough to go and talk to the politicians. We have to say, let's say you want to bring back fox hunting. I don't. I think it's a silly idea, but let's say that you do. So you should get together with your friends and say, we will raise £30,000 and we will donate it to that chap who I think is the Environment Secretary, and say, if you introduce legislation which legalises fox hunting again, we will donate £30,000 to you or your party or fund your office or something like that. Or you could, club together as I've done there, you sell off the ambulances or whatever it is you want to do. You should be able to say, on a site like this, we're going to raise a sum of money and we're going to give it to an MP or perhaps even a group of MPs in order to encourage them to vote the right way. I don't see any issue with that at all. This is it, a nice little thing, something you could put on Facebook. I mean, how many people here have donated to a Kickstarter to make, a kitsch little thing? Yes, yeah. Why? Put your money where your mouth is. If you want something changed, you have to pay for it. And I think we can take this a little further as well. We can say thank you to our MPs. So very occasionally, an MP does the right thing. Now, wouldn't it be nice if... how many of you watched the vote on the Digital Economy Act when that was going through? Yeah, that was brilliant. There was no MPs in the chamber apart from Tom Watson and, a few other people. And then a huge swathe came in and voted for the wretched piece of legislation. How about if before that, they had received an email from Fortnum and Mason, or in this case Harrods, saying, just to let you know, there's a nice gift basket waiting for you if you vote the right way. I think a fair few of them would go for it. So, this is a big question. Is this legal? Are there any lawyers or people who play lawyers on TV in the room? So, I've read the Wikipedia page and I've been to... I've been to, and if anyone's at the Gov UK talk, this justice.gov, that redirects perfectly. It redirects to the right page. Well done, didn't break the web. But here's the thing. Will anyone care? So, this chap here is Assistant Commissioner John Yates. I remember him from TV in the Leveson inquiry. Cool. He looked into the Cash for Honours affair where people had said, well, political parties are taking donations and they are, turning those people into peers. And he said, no, it's all fine. But he didn't become a peer, did he? So, quick recap. Sponsoring an MP's office is legal. Paying for staffing costs, legal. Sending gift baskets, totally legal. If you want to donate to the Labour, Conservative, Green Party, whatever, completely legal. And paying for peerages, no prosecution. So why not do this? I am actually, you're laughing at me, I am deadly serious. No, we need to stop faffing around and put our money where our mouth is. So, this is slightly glib, but it's true. We are a collectivist generation. We need to be an activist generation. Now, there's going to be a talk, I think, by UK Uncut, and I have massive respect for these guys, but here's the thing. If they had 100 people occupying Vodafone, who are my former employers, but never mind, hasn't achieved anything. I don't think Vodafone are paying any more tax now than they did before. I don't think their customer numbers have gone down. If each of those people had donated the cost of their train ticket, say a tenner, to UK Uncut, they could have bought the head of HMRC a really nice dinner and taken him out to the opera. It's worked for Goldman Sachs, I think. This is seriously what I'm encouraging you to do. If you want to change something, don't bitch about it on Twitter, don't whine about it on Facebook, don't click like, don't sign a petition, donate money and expect absolutely nothing, but tell your MP, this is why I'm giving you money, I want you to vote the right way. If you're interested in helping me, find me and we can together create KickbackStarter. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, so I'm sure that after Terence's presentation there are no questions.
There's a difference between questions and being questioned.
Right, so questions, pause, up in the air.
Where do I sign?
Ironically, I'll be launching on Kickstarter. I think this is something we can either do individually or together. I mean, if you happen to be in possession of a large sum of money, and by large, those gift baskets that the Bahrain government sent were £200 to £400, I think, which isn't an extravagant amount of money for an individual, you can start doing this yourself. At the very least, it might start shaming an MP into behaving properly. If you've spotted that they are voting according to who is paying them, rather than, I would say, conscience, I'm not sure they have consciences, but according to what they should be doing, you can do this. Or you can start clubbing together. It doesn't need a site around it, but if there's a genuine want for it, I think it can be built.
Are you surprised how cheap our MPs are? I mean, everyone has a price, but 300 quid?
I think the issue is not of the individual donations. I don't think that, in all honesty, I don't think that when you receive a gift basket, it probably materially affects you, but I think receiving it again and again and again, the fact that when you're an MP and you get taken on a fact-finding mission to some, Kazakhstan or some country like that, and they put you up in luxury hotels and they maybe start paying for you, then it's a constant drip, drip, drip that probably influences you. And that's something we can emulate as well. There's a couple of hundred people in this room, we can start doing that.
Again, back to language, can I just say...
Allegedly.
No, I was going to say, can we use the term cost-effective?
Yes. Yeah, they're not cheap, they're good value for money.
So this seems to be like a kind of carrot approach to Jim Bell's paper, Assassination Politics. I believe Jim Bell is still in prison, but the next corollary to that observation is, do you take Bitcoin?
I think the real question is, do MPs take Bitcoin? I mean, you can always find a tradable good that someone wants, and whether that's... I mean, it doesn't have to be money. If you are the head of the English National Opera or whatever, I'm just picking them out at random, donating a seat at the opera is probably relatively cheap. If you are a digital activist, or a web designer, donating your time to help build a website for an MP or for a campaigning group is also fairly cheap for you, but a lot of value for them. So there is what you own may be cheap to you, but of high value to someone else.
Will you end up open sourcing the costs that you get each senator or MP at, so that we can watch competition drive down the price in the market?
There are a number of people who are looking at, whether there should be a register of lobbyists and whether we should open that up. And I genuinely think that is a good idea. We don't know who is paying our MPs at the moment. So would I do it? Absolutely. I think the idea on the website would be that you should be able to see who is receiving what in return for what. Have you got a follow-up? Or?
Yeah, it's not an entirely fictitious question. We have some good examples of things that are not at all related.
Yeah. I think absolutely. We need to take a look at not just what we're doing, but what other people are doing. And so part of that is an open data thing, and part of that is freedom of information, which is where a lot of these stories came from. But yeah, we do need to see who's being paid to do what, and then to understand why they are making those decisions. And some of them may be entirely coincidental, and some may not be.
Just to remind people, the value of your votes can go down as well as up.
So I think this is a great idea. I think it's missing something, is that it's not just that you're getting a whole bunch of money from somebody. You're getting a whole bunch of money from somebody who you're seeing socially. So I suppose the question is, how do we sponsor MPs' friends to shame them in public and at events they go to, in addition to giving them direct kickbacks?
I mean, it is interesting to see, when you do look at some of the sponsorship, the fact that, I can't remember where I read it, so I won't name the MP, that his daughters are interning or doing work experience with a company who he's effectively regulating. I think the issue is, when you look at, for example, Richard Benyon, the MP, so I think he's Minister for Rural Affairs or something like that, but also all of his friends happen to be people who like shooting wild animals for fun. It would be interesting to see if this approach could go to, we won't send you a gift basket, but we'll send your wife a gift basket, or your husband a gift basket, or your friends a gift basket, or something like that. I think it is, I mean, the social pressure is an interesting aspect. I'm uncomfortable with it intrinsically because, well, I suppose you can choose your friends, but you wouldn't necessarily target someone's children just because their parent was an MP, and I'm wondering, I don't know about that. It's worth thinking about, but I feel uncomfortable with it in a way that I don't feel uncomfortable about bribing someone. Yeah.
So we need a more immoral.
But yeah, so someone more amoral than me. I think that's probably all the time we have for questions, or is there one last question?
I don't actually have a question, but if you have one that you'd like to be asked.
All right.
Okay, so big round of applause. So, high round of applause there for the late Terence Seeley. Okay, and